Hi, this is Alexandra Reed with the National Animal Disease Traceability and Veterinary Accreditation Center, and I will be reviewing the criteria for the Animal Disease Traceability Work Plans from the fiscal year 2018 VS Grants and Agreements Program Guide. The recipient's ADT roadmap provides their vision, long-term plans, and objectives for implementing the ADT program. Several key activities were identified in the roadmap that each applicant is to address. Applicants must include specific actions they will undertake in their annual cooperative agreement work plan to support all of these following activities. First, for activity 1, I'm going to discuss traceability performance measures, or TPMs. So recipients need to provide an overview in their work plan of how traces will be administered to complete the assigned number of TPMs in the Emergency Management Response System, or EMRS-2. ADT is a performance-based program that is designed to measure outcomes that will document successful advancement of animal disease traceability. So TPMs have been established to measure and document progress. ADT recipients, in cooperation with the program manager, will annually administer TPMs that reflect tracing capabilities based on the defined tracing activities. Compilation of the results across all recipients will enable APHIS to determine current traceability values for the TPMs, to document progress made from the national baseline values, as well as subsequent comparison years that were established in prior cooperative agreement periods. The guidelines provided for the administration and completion of traces, both the trace exercises or actual traces, must be followed, and quotas must be achieved to maintain eligibility for reimbursement of expenditures. The next slide is with regard to TPM improvement. So states that had TPM values below the acceptable rating category for elapsed time and/or percent successfully completed in the third-year comparison, which is the 2016 cooperative agreement period, need to identify actions or activities that they will implement to improve key tracing capabilities. So the state's 2016 TPM rating report is to be used to determine which TPMs are applicable for this work plan requirement. So each state's TPM ranking for the 2016 ADT cooperative agreement period was sent to the appropriate assistant director to review with their state animal health official. So if you have any questions regarding your state's rank or on identifying actions or activities to improve key tracing capabilities, please go ahead and contact your assistant director. Next, we will move on to activity 2, which is the administration of official identification devices. So the proper administration of official identification devices and documents used to help determine interstate movement, in particular interstate certificates of veterinary inspection, or ICVIs, is key for capturing accurate information needed to achieve successful animal disease traceability. So recipients must include activities to support official identification and record keeping pertaining to the distribution of official ear tags, in their quarterly and final accomplishment reports. Specifically, recipients must explain, first, how official identification devices will be made available to producers, and options for increasing the use of official radio frequency identification, or RFID tags, as well as explaining how the RFID tags will be read electronically after initial application of the tag in order to ensure that the technology is well utilized. Second, the recipient must explain how they maintain records of official identification devices distributed and or applied in order to ensure timely retrieval of such records when needed. So this includes devices administered through accredited veterinarians, markets, tagging sites, etc. Next, we'll move on to Activity 3, which is regarding information sharing. So sharing information quickly and effectively will help APHIS and its recipients respond to animal disease events and make ADT successful. Information systems, therefore, must be compatible. So all recipients must administer defined data elements in accordance with data standards. Options to share data seamlessly, including the integration of systems, should be given a high priority. And expenditures to support IT, therefore, should align with this objective. In the work plan, recipients must explain what information systems are being used to support traceability and how information will be shared with other recipients when needed. So first, integration of systems and/or communication processes to support efficient data sharing options should be documented. And second, recipients who have developed or obtained their own information systems should explain how their systems are aligned with established data and communication interfaces in order to ensure compatibility of information systems going forward. Moving on, I will discuss Activity 4, which is outreach. APHIS places great importance on informing producers and other stakeholders of the ADT program's interstate movement requirements. Therefore, states and tribes must implement a plan for local education and outreach activities that support traceability. And Appendix B2 in the guide should be used for reporting of ADT outreach activities. Activity 5 is pertaining to electronic records. So ADT places a high priority on activities that will make electronic information more readily available. Therefore, technologies such as RFID and electronic interstate movement documentation must be given a high priority and well accounted for in the work plan. So in addition to the key elements noted in the traceability roadmap, activities to increase the volume of electronic records that optimize the searchability of potential animal disease traceability data should be described. Areas to consider include distribution and tag-applied records of official identification devices, ICVIs, and other sources that are deemed applicable for the recipient, such as data from bovine brucellosis vaccination and testing, bovine tuberculosis testing, and brand inspection certificates. Additionally, priority should also be placed on moving accredited veterinarians to electronic ICVI systems. Next, number 6, or Activity 6, is compliance and enforcement. So high compliance with traceability regulations is also critical to achieve optimum tracing capabilities, while APHIS is the lead on the regulations defined in 9 CFR Part 86. Recipients are encouraged to work cooperatively to the degree possible on activities that will support compliance with the regulation. Therefore, the recipient, in collaboration with the AD, is to document processes to examine and report compliance of ICVI requirements defined in 9 CFR Part 86. Additionally, the program manager and recipient are encouraged to work cooperatively on ADT enforcement activities, in particular when the state has regulations that align with the federal regulations. Additionally, it's important to note that to avoid duplication of reporting, the state should provide their AD with enforcement activities to augment the VS quarterly ADT enforcement action summary report. The last activity I'm going to discuss is Activity 7, which is submission of the ADT Cooperative Agreement Financial Plan Excel template, or Attachment B1. So please note that the ADT Cooperative Agreement Financial Plan Excel template has the same budget categories as the detailed financial plan, which matches the SF 424A Section B budget categories. Recipients must use the ADT Cooperative Agreement Financial Plan Excel template to document planned expenditures to support the work plan. And it should be noted that work plans submitted without a completed ADT Cooperative Agreement Financial Plan Excel template will be returned to the recipient. The ADT Financial Plan Excel template that we have, that we're utilizing this year, does have it does feature some new drop-down menus, which allows for the ability to convey greater detail in the personnel, equipment, supplies, and contractual categories. So you're encouraged to go ahead and make sure you use those to provide, greater detail. Funding requested under the budget categories must also be described in detail within the narrative. Recipients should review the fiscal year 2018 program guide as it has been updated to contain specific instructions on how to capture expenditures under the various budget categories. It should also be noted that if budget modifications are approved during the cooperative agreement cycle, applicants must submit a revised ADT budget template with their final report. The last thing to mention is the program manager checklist. So this form includes information from the program guide regarding the activities described in this presentation that the recipients are to meet in their work plan to qualify for ADT Cooperative Agreement funding. So this form is used by the program manager to document that the cooperative agreement criteria in the guide are met. And the completed checklist is submitted with the approved recipient work plan by the program manager. So please email any questions regarding the ADT Cooperative Agreement guidance to our program mailbox, which is traceability@aphis.usda.gov. And thank you for joining us today.